Dear Greg, I have a hard time being around other people. I get really nervous, and I think it's because I don't have much self-esteem. My friends and even a counselor have told me that what I need is to love myself more. I'm trying to, but it's not making much difference. How can I learn to love myself?
The concepts of self-esteem and loving ourselves are very important. And in order to answer questions about them, we really have to address our entire notion of self and how it is that we come to be as we are. Usually, we don't think much about how we acquire our values, preferences, fears, and so on. But the more we understand that process, the more capable we become of changing and growing. From the time we're very young, we learn how to see the world. We learn what everything means. And on the whole, we come to see the world as the people around us teach us that it is. We're not born, for example, knowing that highways are dangerous places to play. Other people teach us that, and many other things. And when we're young, it's pretty natural that we tend to believe what we're taught. At that age, when we're young, we see adults, especially our parents, as masters of the universe. They're all-wise and all-powerful. So when they tell us that a hot stove will hurt us, for example, or that without a coat we'll freeze in the snow, or that the world outside our yard is dangerous, we generally believe them. Fortunately, much of what these adults teach us is right and helpful. Playing on the highway is bad, drinking poison is dangerous, and so on. And we are wise to listen to our teachers on those occasions. But, and this is a huge but, on many other occasions, these teachers that we trust teach us principles that are not true. And we believe those too. We swallow the whole deal, when they're right and when they're wrong. And one of those incorrect principles we swallow, one of those principles that you swallowed, involves the concept of our worth. In this case, your worth. Let's look at how this worked for you. As a child, when you were quiet and clean and obedient, what reaction did you receive from other people? On the whole, they probably smiled at you, spoke kindly, and in other ways told you that they cared about you. But when you were dirty and loud and inconvenient, then what happened? Did you get the same reaction? Of course not. Instead of smiles, you saw frowns, irritation, and other indications that they were not pleased. People probably even avoided you. Without intending to, people told you this: when you're good, I love you. But when you're bad, I don't. When you screw up, you are not as lovable. No one meant to teach us this lesson, but it was taught clearly anyway. And even though that message was wrong, that we're not lovable when we screw up, we still believed it. It didn't even occur to us to question whether these wise adults were right or wrong as they taught us. We accepted the entire package they gave us, good and bad, right and wrong. At that age, what else could we do? When a 4-year-old makes a mistake and a father or mother stands above the child impatiently pointing it out while scowling and tapping his foot and raising his voice and in a dozen nonverbal ways saying, "I don't love you," the child learns that love, all love really, is conditional, that you have to earn it, and that when you make mistakes, you lose it. When a parent expresses anger at a child like that, there isn't a 4-year-old on the planet who could say, "Now, Dad or Mom, aren't you really just empty and afraid yourself?" Not a chance. The point is that as children, our view of the world and our view of ourselves and what we're worth is mostly taught to us by our parents and others. So it's not really accurate to talk about self-esteem. The notion of self-esteem is really misleading. In our childhoods, our feelings of worth or esteem come from other people. So, how we view ourselves could more properly be called other esteem, a sense of how much we feel loved by other people, not self-esteem at all. And if we are not sufficiently loved as children, such that our sense of worth from others is low, which is the case with the vast majority of us, the effects will ripple over time and continue to cripple us as adults until something significant is done to address the absence of real love in our lives. More about that in our next session.